Hello everyone. My name is Noah James Gonzalez. Friends and families call me Nonong Gonzalez, a name given to me by my grandpa which I like, and a name which established my identity. I invite you, together with my mom Angelia, Grandma Nancy, Tita Gian, and my grandpa Jimmy, to come travel with me as I journey around the world to see the beautiful places, its people and culture, and taste its native delicacies. The city of Chicago has been known by many nicknames, but it is most widely recognized as the Windy City. The earliest known reference to the Windy City was actually to Green Bay in 1856. The first known repeated effort to level Chicago with its nickname is from 1876 and involved Chicago's rivalry with Cincinnati. The term Windy City came into common usage when it was popularized by New York City newspaper editor Charles Dana, who was working for the Sun during the bidding for the 1893 Columbian Exposition. Chicago won the exposition, which did not please Dana. The popularity of the nickname endures to this day, 126 years after the Cincinnati rivalry and the Columbian Exposition ended. There are four main possibilities to explain the city's nickname: the weather, as Chicago is near Lake Michigan; the World's Fair, politics, and the rivalry with Cincinnati. Cincinnati and Chicago were rival cities in the 1860s and 1870s. Cincinnati was well known in the meatpacking trade, and it was called Porkopolis from at least 1843. Starting from the early 1860s, Chicago surpassed Cincinnati in this trade and proudly proclaimed the very same Porkopolis nickname. The baseball intercity matches were especially intense. The 1869 Cincinnati Red Stockings were the pride of all of baseball. So, Chicago came up with a rival team called the White Stockings to defeat them. Windy City often appeared in the Cincinnati sporting news of the 1870s and 1880s. As the 400th anniversary of Columbus' arrival and the Americas approached, the United States planned to hold a World's Fair to celebrate. This was considered an important time due to the French successes at the previous World's Fair with the construction of the Eiffel Tower. The prestige of holding the fair enticed several prominent cities to compete to host the fair. At the top, New York City, St. Louis, and Washington, D.C. all fought hard for the right, and many New Yorkers thought they had a win guaranteed. In the end, it came down to New York and Chicago. In 1890, Chicago won the bid to host the World's Fair, also known as the World's Columbian Exposition, after 8 ballots. Many prominent New Yorkers were extremely irritated that a frontier town could beat them. It is a popular myth that the first person to use the term Windy City was the New York Sun editor Charles Dana. Charles Dana was New York's leading fair buster, but there is little evidence that he ever used the Windy City term. The first known attribution of Dana to the origin of Windy City was 4 years later and the Chicago Tribune. Chicago had long billed itself as an ideal summer resort because of its cool lake breeze. The Boston Globe of July 8, 1873 wrote that a few years ago, Chicago advertised itself as a summer resort on the strength of the lake breezes, which so nicely tempered the midsummer heats. The Chicago Tribune of June 14, 1876 discussed Chicago as a summer resort at length, proudly declaring that the people of the city are enjoying cool breezes, refreshing rains, green fields, a grateful sun, and balmy air. Lincoln Park Zoo is a 35-acre zoo in Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois. This zoo was founded in 1868, making it one of the oldest zoos in Northern America. It is also one of the few free admission zoos in the United States. The zoo is an accredited member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Lincoln Park Zoo is home to a wide variety of animals. The zoo's exhibits include big cats, polar bears, penguins, gorillas, reptiles, monkeys, and other species, totaling about 1,100 animals from some 200 species. Also located in Lincoln Park Zoo is a bar oak tree, which dates to 1830, 3 years before the town of Chicago was incorporated. The zoo was founded in 1868 when the Lincoln Park Commissioners were given a gift of 2 pairs of swans by Central Park's Board of Commissioners in New York City. Other animals were soon donated to the park, including a puma, 2 elk, 3 wolves, 4 eagles, and 8 peacocks. The Chicago River is a system of rivers and canals with a combined length of 156 miles that runs through the city of Chicago, including its center, the Chicago Loop. Though not especially long, the river is notable because it is one of the reasons for Chicago's geographic importance. The related Chicago Portage is a link between the Great Lakes and the Mississippi River Basin, and ultimately the Gulf of Mexico. The name of Chicago derives from the 17th century French rendering of a Native American term for rams, Allium trichocum, a type of edible wild leek, which grow abundantly near the river. The river and its region were named after this plant. As I pause here, I hope you enjoy our ride. Don't forget to watch my next episode. And please hit the like button below for it means so much for me. Until next time, thank you so much.